Okay, everybody. So welcome to my first actual plan with me project life video. So I am going to try my best to do this voiceover as effective as I can. So these are some photos for the day that my fiance at the time and I came back from a trip. We were on our way back from a bowling tournament / family trip that we took to, it went to Jacksonville, Florida, then we went to Miami, Florida, then we went to Orlando, Florida, and then we headed home. So this was like a super long excursion. So I am right now using the Auburn collection from Pink Paislee, which I absolutely adore the colors. And because all of these photos were most of the photos were taken inside a Longhorn near our home which by the way, these photos are from 2015, so I no longer have teal hair, just as a side note in case anybody cared or wondered. But because they were all kind of like this warm lighting background ish, I thought that the Auburn Lane collection would be really good. Plus it's very homey related, so it's just kind of fall colors and home themed, so I thought they would be good. About the only picture that's not themed that way is me with this Slurpee. So we're no longer together. Actual side note, again, not like anybody particularly cares, but he was a Florida native, so he swore by 7-Eleven Slurpees, and I'd never even seen a 7-Eleven that I could recall at the time. So he insisted that we had to go to 7-Eleven and get this Slurpee. So that was definitely a photo-worthy moment, but the rest of us are just kind of the rest of the photos are just us being super silly inside the Longhorn waiting on our food and just being completely out of whack after all the traveling and just bananas. So a lot of this right now is just me picking paper and placing it. So my process with photos and project lifing and all of that jazz is to look at the photos, decide which ones I want. Sometimes I've even been known to use the app just because I feel like sometimes the app helps me with the layout itself and picking the photos so that I don't get too photo heavy. A lot of times I've gone ahead and if I can get the collection that I'm going to use, this one wasn't available, obviously. If I can actually get the collection inside of the app, then sometimes I'll pop the 99 cents for it just to make my life a little bit easier. So I'm not doing all the paper sorting and stuff. I think I'm sipping coffee or tea. Oh my gosh. I filmed this. Oh my gosh, when did I film this? This was, I think in October or November, probably November. Because my current boyfriend was hunting and I was watching his dog. So I got to use the alone time to set up everything and go through this layout and actually film it. So yeah, okay, back to it. Sorry, tangent-y and a little ranty. This is my first voiceover, so give me a break, people. So I pick my paper based off the photos themselves. So obviously I think that's what most people do. I don't try to pick a collection of paper and then go find photos because that would just make me insane, I think. Because to me, I'd always be like, bigger, better, bigger, better. So I instantly knew when I saw these photos with the colors that they would match with my Auburn Lane stuff. So I drug all that out. So you kind of see me playing with all the ephemera now. I picked up most of it actually at a Tuesday morning, believe it or not. I did have some of the papers from a scrap show I'd attended. So I think the year before. Yes. So I'd attended a scrap show a year before this, gotten a lot of the papers. So any of the 12 by 12 papers that you see, that's where that came from. And then the little scrap pad, all of the ephemera came from Tuesday morning. But I love all these colors so much. And this was, again, a perfect collection, not just for the warm colors, but because we were homebound. Like, we went to dinner and then we were going straight home to completely crash out. I also have been obsessing over inky quills layering techniques. So this is where I decide to use this absolute gorgeous, like, coppery gold tissue paper, which actually, fun fact, came from Alex and Ani. Save your tissue paper, people. Literally, I have a stack of people's tissue paper from stores that I shop at because I'm not gonna just trash it. It's perfect background and it's gonna crinkle anyway. I don't need it to be perfectly flat. So side note, now looking back on it, and you'll see me mount it like I just did, and I loved it like that now after the fact. I wish I hadn't gone back and like done so many ripped versions, which you're gonna see coming up. I move all this ephemera around so much, it's crazy. I love that honeycomb paper too. I'm now wondering to myself if I've actually got any more of that, because I think I want to use it for a concert layout. Okay, so again, tangent. This is going to be an interesting video, and I am sorry if y'all are not appreciating the tangents or the humor, because I am right now. So back to it. I'm losing all train of thought, I think. Really what you're just seeing right now is a bunch of stick and plonking and playing. I'm a very matchy person, if you could not figure that out by now, that I really like to have as much of a collection as humanly possible. I feel like it makes it so much easier for me personally to get the layout the way that I want it to look. I don't have to worry about, well, this is a shade of pink off, or this is a, this doesn't really go with this, or it just doesn't look right. I just really prefer a collection to be whole if I can get it. That's why I love a good Tuesday morning haul, because you can usually get not only the entire collection, but you can get stuff that never even went to market. I recently just got a ton of flourish that never even went to market. Gorgeous stamp sets that I'm over the moon about, and I'm a stamp fanatic when it comes to my Hobonichi. That's where I do a lot of stamping. I don't stamp as much in Project Life layouts, just strictly because of the fact it's hard to do. Stamping and I with stays on and photos particularly need some work. As you can see, I just want to touch on this for a second, how I was talking about I wish I had not ripped these so strange. It's not the ripping that bothers me so much, it's the rip and off-centeredness of it. I wish I had just mounted the photo kind of centered and then ripped, if that makes sense. I kind of had the wonderful piece of ephemera done the first time. I wish I had just kind of centered it, cut around it, and then mounted it on that floral washi in the center, and I think I would have been a lot happier with it after the fact. And there's one more thing I wish I had done differently. Actually, I'm wondering now if I rip up that wonderful portion, because I know I do some journaling somewhere in here. I do it on the tag, and then I did it in cursive on the tag, and you'll see that. And then I did it in what is it called? Just print. In the other journaling place. And I look at it now and it makes me so aggravated that it's two different fonts. I really am hoping to get a typewriter at some point. I know that We Are Memory Keepers have it and the typecast thing, but I've read some just gnarly, nasty reviews that just terrify me in general on the purchase of it. So I'm going to steer clear of that. I might just look into, there's my little head and hair. Sorry, guys. I don't know what I was doing. I was writing. It's why would I be bent down that low? Gracious. And that's the top of my little tiny pumpkin head. But as you can see, I'm cursiving. Is that the right word? I am writing in cursive on this lovely little tag. You can pick those up almost anywhere. Tags are not that hard to find, you guys. It's just the question of finding the right tag for you, because there's so many out there. There are mixed media tags, and there's big tags, little tags, small tags, mini tags, all the tags. But I love using them here, there, and everywhere. Obviously, you can see one kind of tucked behind that photo, and then I'm going to use this one up there. I'm usually a very firm believer in the rule of 3 as well. So I usually like to have 3s of things. So you'll see that kind of fleckle throughout. So I think I do 3 photos with that tissue paper kind of style. I'm sorry that the way that this is cut off, you kind of miss out on a little teeny bit of the top and a little teeny bit of the bottom, but I don't think it matters that much. I think you guys get the idea pretty well. Another thing to note about the Auburn Lane collection is the fact that there's a lot of pretty gold. So on those little utensil, the little fork and spoon stickers, those are actually kind of split with like a gold and a pink. They're so pretty. I think they are. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's gold and pink, if I remember correctly. But it gets lost in the lighting, and there was really no way to fix that. I really wanted to use these photo frames, but the problem was that they would kind of overhang off the card. So they really didn't work for the 3x4 cards. They were perfect size in a way, but it would have obviously made it look really strange, because something was going to get cut off or off-centered, and it wouldn't have looked like a photo frame anymore. So I think I end up putting them away. I don't recall them actually making it to the layout. If it does, clearly my memory is not that great. My cat is off to the side and looking into a sewing machine box. She's a very curious little thing. I can't wait to get to the layouts where I got her. I think those are not too far off in my horizon. I am still project lifing 2015 photos. I know, give me a break. I can't wait to get more updated in my photos. That would be swell. I don't plan on, I just lost my whole train of thought. I don't plan on finishing and getting that close by the end of 2020 to 2020, if that makes sense. I might finish all of I know I'll finish 2015 photos in 2016. But beyond that, I'm not really sure where I'm going to land. But I do hope that I start catching up a little bit quicker. Everything's kind of been on pause, including Hobonichi, which needs a lot of work and catch up. I might even do a catch up with me video. So let me know in the comments down below how you guys feel about that. Also, please be kind again, because this is my first voiceover. So there's just going to be some crazy tangents and just nonsense and chattiness. So I'm bouncing all my photos around at this point and just kind of playing, because like I said, I'm very matchy and I'm also a rule of 3. So I kind of want everything to look cohesive and vibe as a page. And I was struggling because I didn't want the journaling to be side by side, and then I didn't want 2 cards side by side that had matching backgrounds. So I was just in a Tetris Project Life shuffle, and I like things to be in order. This is another reason why I do like playing with the collection itself, because the collection itself on the app, I like being able to play with it and shuffle it in a digital format. It can sometimes be a little bit easier than doing it physically, because obviously I cut down a lot of paper. I'm not typically using the Project Life kits themselves, even though I have a ton of them. I was one of those people that when I discovered Project Life, I just put on Project Life glasses and dove in, which is incredibly comical to me, because now 5 years later, I'm realizing that I have a ton of kits, but I quite literally had one album and a ton of page protectors. So I am now in that place of trying to find the albums and running into some serious issues with that. I'm trying to hunt down albums and have something to obviously Project Life in itself. So that's fun. I actually ordered 2 recently from a scrapbook shop that had a really nice online website. I can't think of the name of it right now. I think it's Beth's Creations. And I know scrapbook.com has them. I'm just a little bit paranoid after I heard that they're not making any physical product and there's no plans of it. So I don't know really what that means. If that means that they're just going to stop all that entirely, or if you're going to still be able to get, just bare basics, like bare bone basics, like the normal, design pocket pages and 12 by 12 pocket pages. More writing is happening, but yeah, so I'm a bit in a panic state with that and just trying to collect some materials. I know you guys did not tune in to hear me rant about this. So this is that little journaling moment that I had. And I think I was also getting frustrated. I don't know if any of you have ever actually filmed yourself crafting, but you feel this sense of rushness. I think it's because so in that part, my camera fell. So that's what that nice, lovely crash was there where it blurred. So sorry about that. But I don't know if you guys have ever filmed yourself crafting, but you feel this need. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I feel like I need to do everything super fast. Even though I can speed everything up on the editing side, it's just very funny to me that I feel this need to speed it up. I guess it's from watching so many time-lapse videos and sped up project videos that it just maybe makes me rush faster. And I'm just worried that something's getting too long. I still think this video turned out a little bit longer than I would have liked. But this was as fast as I could speed it up in the program I was using, I think, without me feeling like, how am I going to do a voiceover? And I clearly realize now that I had plenty of voiceover time, clearly, because I've been ranting about everything except for this actual process. But I don't know. I feel like I explained it fairly well, that I use the Project Life app where I just pick my photos and then pick my paper after that. I do try to be kind of conscious of how many photos I have so that I don't end up spilling over and into 2 layouts if I don't want to, or I try to kind of have some idea or presence of that. So a lot of the time I do use the digital app, if for nothing else, that to pick my photos, and I'll even leave just blank spaces and know, okay, this is going to be a journaling card and I just plonk it there. This is going to be a filler card and I plonk that there. Not trying to match the photos or anything, but I will say that Project Life app, you don't have to buy anything if you don't want to, but just to help you and guide you a little bit with the editing process so that you know that you didn't overprint on photos or that you aren't spilling over into too many pages, if that makes sense. So this is where I pull out my stamp set that I picked up. There were a couple Auburn Lane stamp sets, and I think there are still some kind of floating around out there. I just got this really simple one with the florals because I love stamping in my Hobonichi, but I also loved the florals off this, and I knew I could get a lot. It's almost like an extra sticker set that just keeps on giving. Okay, if there was a weird break in that, it's because I paused to sneeze and had to edit that out. But I'm going to do some splatter with Distress ink here in a minute, and then I'm going to do a really quick flip once everything's tucked into those pockets. I will say that I didn't shake that bronzy color enough, so the color came out like really weird, and I was disappointed with that. But I do prefer to use Stress ink for my splatters. So if you've ever watched the wonderful and lovely Inky Quill, she uses her Heidi Shine. But I love Tim Holtz Distress ink for some splatters. It always turns out great if you're looking for something fun. But that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and it wasn't too ranty.